videos in one day. I know, but I just had to leap to my computer to talk about this news that I just saw. Gina Carano suing Disney over the Mandalorian firing, and this is funded by Elon Musk. I don't know if you guys recall, I'm pretty sure I even made a video about this where Elon was saying that he was going to pay for people's lawsuits if they were fired over something they posted on Twitter. So I don't know, I'm probably butchering that, but I know a lot of you guys know about this. So anyway, let's get the scoop on what's happening. I love Gina. I love her, which, by the way, I don't know if I have beef in my teeth, so I apologize if that's the case. Anyway, Gina Carano sues Disney over Mandalorian firing and lawsuit funded by Elon Musk. Okay, the actress claims the entertainment giant discriminated against her for voicing certain opinions on hot button issues. All right. In an escalation of a standoff over her firing from The Mandalorian, Gina Carano is suing Disney and Lucasfilm for discrimination and wrongful termination in a lawsuit that opens another front in the battlefield for influence over Hollywood that has drawn into corporate America. Carano, in a complaint filed Tuesday in California federal court, alleges she was fired for voicing right-wing opinions on social media. I mean, is she lying? No, that whole firing was just retarded. I tuned out of The Mandalorian after they got rid of her, man. I loved The Mandalorian. I loved it. I have like Grogu merch, all that. I loved it, and I thought that Cara Dune, Gina's character, was amazing. I was a fan. And then after they fired her, I was done. Especially for the reasons, all that. I am not about that cancel culture life. Okay, so let's see. And seeks a court order that would force Lucasfilm to recast her. I want to see her in the movie. Elon Musk making good on a promise to foot the legal bill for users who claim they have been discriminated against due to their activity on his platform is helping fund the suit through X. In a statement, X's head of business operations, Joe Benarock, said, as a sign of X Corp's commitment to free speech, we're proud to provide financial support for Gina Carano's lawsuit, empowering her to seek vindication of her free speech rights on X and the ability to work without bullying, harassment, or discrimination. Lucasfilm in 2021 announced that Carano would not be returning to the hit series after sharing a post in which she said, most people today don't realize that to get to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews, the government first made their own neighbors hate them simply for being Jews. How is that any different from hating someone for their political views? It was the latest in a long string of posts in which, and you know what? You know the irony of this? I'm just going to say it. I don't even give a freaking crap. The people who canceled her over this and the people who had a fit over this were calling her anti-Semitic. And now these exact people are pro-Hamas, queers for Palestine. Again, I'm just going to say it. So can we just point out their hypocrisy? Can we? All right, let's continue. It was the latest in a long string of posts in which the former MMA fighter drew the ire of social media users for positions seen as right-wing on hot button issues. Carano, who was dropped by UTA following the controversy, previously mocked government mandates to wear masks during the COVID-19 pandemic and falsely suggested that voter fraud occurred during the 2020 presidential election. Falsely suggested. No, they don't even say allegedly. Why is it just you weren't even allowed to think that. You weren't even allowed to think there was voter fraud. And you're on YouTube. I don't even know if I can even say it. Just kidding, YouTube. Just kidding. Just kidding. In a statement clarifying the post on X, Carano on Tuesday said, "My words were consistently twisted to demonize and dehumanize me as an alt-right-wing extremist." According to the complaint, Disney and Lucasfilm harassed and defamed Carano for refusing to conform with their viewpoints on issues relating to Black Lives Matter, another terrorist organization that the Queers for Palestine love to stand for, preferred pronouns, and disproven claims of election interference. While she was allegedly fired for her cultural and religious beliefs, Carano argues that the entertainment giant turned a blind eye to her male co-stars who allegedly made offensive and denigrating posts directly toward Republicans. She posts to Pedro Pascal's 2017 post comparing former President Donald Trump to Hitler. Also, regarding the BLM thing, I'm just going to say terrorist organization in Minecraft. You can't be too careful with YouTube right now. In Minecraft. You know. Also, dude, and Pedro Pascal, can we just talk about how he was defending and how sad he was over the execution of kid diddlers during the Rittenhouse stuff? How he's posting their let's not forget the victims. Okay, that you're gonna be defending actual convicted kid diddlers? We're in clown world, and he still gets his job and gets all kinds of Hollywood roles, but yeah. All right. The suit says Disney required Carano, who was paid $25,000 per episode as a guest actor, and later negotiated a one-time $5,000 bonus, to meet with representative of the Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Discrimination and demanded a public apology. Cringe, 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 cringe. I'm just going to up and say it. I don't support LGBT. Y'all know this. I am a Christian. Goes against my religion. So I am not an ally. I do not support it. Period. I think that for them to even have the representative there to do these lectures and demand apologies and this, that, and the other, that seems like religious discrimination to me, too. So, just saying. Defendants went so far as to try and convince Carano's publicist to force Carano to issue a statement admitting to mocking or insulting the entire group of people, which Carano had never done, the complaint states. After she refused, Carano was told to meet with Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy and 45 employees who identify as LGBTQ plus chickens for KFC. According to the suit, she declined and was terminated shortly after from The Mandalorian, as well as other titles in the Star Wars universe, including Rangers of the New Republic. Good for her, too, that she was so strong during this time. And I mean, I think she really was a huge voice for standing up against the crybabies, standing up against the standing up against the crybabies and all of these people forcing their narrative, forcing their woke narrative on everybody and expecting complete compliance, otherwise you get canceled. So she was so brave in standing up to that bunch back when it was a lot riskier to do so than it is now. Granted, now people are still risk their jobs and things like that, but back then it was even worse. Okay, so Carano also alleges Disney engaged in a post-termination smear campaign, citing the abrupt removal of an episode of Running Wild with Bear Grylls, in which she appeared from the show's scheduled lineup in an effort to malign her. Though the episode eventually aired, Disney allegedly omitted any mention of her name and likeness in promotional materials. The suit faults Disney's termination of Carano as the impetus for UTA and her transactional lawyer dropping her as a client. Carano brings claims for wrongful discharge and sex discrimination. She seeks a court order that would force Lucasfilm to recast her and at least $75,000 plus punitive damages. Some of us have been unjustly singled out, harassed, persecuted, and had our livelihoods stripped away because we dared to encourage conversation, asked questions, and refused to go along with the mob, she said in a statement. At-will employees, who make up the majority of private sector workers, often face an uphill climb in obtaining damages for terminations over problematic online posts deemed to be offensive and in violation of workplace policies. Unlike employees in the public sector, such workers are not shielded against discipline under the First Amendment. On X funding the suit, Carano added, "I am honored that my case has been chosen to be supported by the company that has been one of the last glimmers of hope for free speech in the world." Last year, Musk pledged to fund legal action for users on X who claim they have faced discrimination. Yes, so like I mentioned earlier, I made a video about this as well. And then also Kara, who works for, she works for the Rippaverse now, but she worked for Limited Run Games at the time, over a year ago, just right at a year ago. She was fired for a certain account because she was following some accounts like Libs of TikTok, for example, on Twitter. Okay? And Limited Run Games had some trans wildebeest in a wig who was offended by that and complained about it on Twitter and ended up getting her fired from Limited Run Games. So that was a whole ordeal. Haven't heard anything about that, but hopefully she is able to sue over that as well. I have had a grudge against Limited Run Games ever since, and I do not support them. So anyway, there you have it for this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. And if you'd like me to read the Bible to you, you can listen to me, watch me on my Bible channel at Bible Time with Melanie Mack. Thank you all again. I'll catch you next time. And in the meantime, go boom. Miles Morales.